Welcome everybody to another episode of Scaranoia. It is I, Hugz, and I am with Jared and Chris. Happy Halloween, everybody, because this is a very special Halloween episode. And so we're going to be talking about something we all think about on Halloween, and that is hauntings. So everybody has like their local legend story. They're like that one house you don't go to because it's super creepy. We had that in my old neighborhood. Did you guys have that type of stuff? Like those local houses you just couldn't go trick-or-treating at?
So in my city where I'm from, we have this like local legend kind of story about the ghost in apartment 14. So pretty much what that was back in 2000, the actress Jodie Foster and her 2-year-old daughter at the time moved into this apartment. And within the first few nights there, she started having these nightmares of this like older couple stalking this younger woman. And then like over time the nightmares became more like detailed and like scary. Like it just got a lot for her. And then also during the time, I guess like her daughter, like I said, 2 years old, she was speaking to an angel named My Liz, and she was like, it's kind of odd, she's a little kid. So, I guess several weeks later, everything kind of came together in this like heavy poltergeist moment, just noises and just things going crazy in the apartment, which caused her to like flee. Like her and her daughter just picked up after a few months and were like, bam, we're out. And then during that time, she found out about this woman who rented the apartment back in like 1979 who just disappeared. Like she didn't leave, move out, nothing. She just like, she was gone. So I think like a few years later, she came back to do like more research into it, and she found out about this woman who went missing one night. Her name was Marliz Spanhawk, I think her name was, something like that. But it was in 1979. She was like walking home from a local farmer's market after like an argument with her boyfriend. And this older couple had picked her up and promised her a ride home. And during this whole time, they're talking, they're conversing, and the reason this all came about was the lady who was a part of the kidnapping several years later came forward to her priest that her husband had forced her to participate in like the kidnapping and torture of this woman, and apparently they buried her body like in in the woods, and the police were given this information, but they didn't do anything because at that time when she was reported missing by her boyfriend, they swept the woods and they didn't find any traces of her at all. So that place has pretty much been vacant since.
That makes me think of like the Amityville Horror House. Like it's like a real haunted house. Like, do you believe in this stuff, Jared? Do you have anything in your area that was like that, or?
Nah, I don't believe in spiritual or anything like that. Just not something I've ever resonated with. But there's nothing in my hometown I can think of. I live in West Virginia. All we really have is the Mothman, which we're going to talk about eventually, but nothing like local legend ghost house or anything like that.
Bro, okay, first off, if I just dip out of my apartment and I never come back, I'm dead because I'd be coming back for that security deposit. Okay?
That's what I'm saying, right?
All I'm saying, I'm not dipping out and they're just keeping my however many $100, $1,000, whatever. That ain't happening. All right, second off though, so when I was a kid, this reminds me of some from my childhood. So, I moved around all over. I've lived in many, many, many states. And when I was a little kid, literally lived in like 5 states in 2 years, all over the place. But I lived in South Bend, Indiana. And the place that I lived in, literally my room was like 20 degrees colder than any other room in the house. Like you would walk in my room and the hair would raise up on your forearm. Like that's how crazy it was. And I was a little kid. I didn't believe in like hauntings or anything. I didn't even know like really what that was. I was super little. But I had a imaginary friend named Edie. So my parents would see, and I wasn't like the imaginary friend type of kid. Like this was the only place I really had that. But I would go and I would turn the light on in my closet and talk to this like kid. It was a kid named Edie. Okay. And so later on, the landlord comes one day and like my dad was like paying them or whatever. And they had mentioned a story of a kid who went missing named Eddie who had lived in the house. So my dad freaks out. It's whatever. Well, it ended up being my mom played a prank. She told the landlord about, that I had been talking or whatever. So he ends up finding out eventually, but like he freaked out at first because he absolutely thought this was true. He thought I was talking to this little like kid that had passed away. But we did end up leaving that house pretty soon after. Like we only lived there maybe like 2 months because of how creepy it was in this house. I've lived in quite a few houses that I'm pretty sure are haunted, and we can go into some other stories in future episodes of like, I have, and I don't know if you guys know this, I have full ghost hunting equipment. I have EMF detectors. I have like the little like radar gun that does everything. I
did not know that.
I have electric, like for EVPs, I have a little digital recorders. I have everything. And I've done some of that stuff in the houses I've been at. But anyway, that experience. So that's the type of stuff that makes me believe. Another thing that makes me, so you believe?
Oh, I 100% do. I remember when I was a kid, like, we had this, like, ceiling fan that had one of those, bulb covers, the round ones that you have to, like, screw in that cover the light bulbs and stuff, right? And it was, like, right in the center of our living room. Like, about 4 or 5 feet away, like, was, like, 5, 6 feet away was our computer area. I remember walking out of my kitchen one time. The fan was not on. Nothing in this room like that was causing motion. And this light bulb cover came undone, but instead of falling straight down like you would think, it like flew diagonal at my mother and like landed like within inches of her and exploded.
That's a ghost, dog.
That was 100%.
That's a ghost, dog. That's a ghost, dog.
I remember seeing that and I'm just like, I'm a little kid and I'm like, I don't even know how to process this because I didn't even know if I believed in ghosts at the time. But that right there made me a believer.
You unlocked a memory for me. In my, like, one of the houses I lived at the longest with my parents, I remember we recorded like an EVP one time, like the whatever voice phenomenon, right? In this house. And I never believed it. I thought my dad was making all this stuff up. But one day we were chilling in his room and he had like a printer and all this stuff set up. And there was like a can of like deodorant or something, like the Arid like spray, like the actual like big can of deodorant. And it was chilling there and it sat there forever. Like that's where he like set it, right? Never been a thing. It not fell over, not like slid off the thing, rolled over. It flew like up and away towards him off of this thing when we were talking about it, when we were talking about recording the EVP. And I have more stories about that house too. That was a creepy house. That was I have a lot of stories about that house, including seeing people in reflections of images and stuff. And should I tell this story now or should I save it? I have a really creepy story.
It's Halloween. It's Halloween. Let's get it out on this episode.
So, my first webcam I ever got, when you would configure it, it would like make these little points around your face when you're doing configuration because it did like facial recognition. So when you kick it on, it would do like dot 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 dot. Like there'd be like these little pinpoints, so it showed like your eyes, your mouth, and it showed like so you could calibrate it to you, right? And literally, I'm recording it, and it goes to another face that's beside me that is not fucking there, and it turns and like looks at me. And then, like, you can see it, like, kind of move back, like it noticed. And then it, like, pops off and it goes back on me.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Bro, it's, like, one of the, like, literally, you can't, I have my shirt on, so you can't see it, but, like, the hairs on my face and my arm. So much shit happened to me at that house. So much stuff happened at that house.
That was within the same place as the readings and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I do have one story.
Go ahead.
This one time I opened up Snapchat and the dog filter. You know, the dogs look up
Oh,
and the little
bro.
dogs
Yeah,
look
it's the
on.
same concept. Yep.
Yeah, there's one behind me. But it's just, but all that is just like technology acting up. Is the way I see it.
All I know is it popped off my face, had another equally separated eyes and mouth. It turned like it went to look at me, and then you could see it go backwards. Like you could see it like fading. Like, oh, bro, it's fucking me up just thinking about it.
Goosebumps.
But that same house, I heard something downstairs, and I ran downstairs to go see what it was because like it sounded like somebody was in the house, and I was the only one there. And yes, I'm the nerd who brought my freaking EMF detector, and I come down for whatever, and I'm doing readings in this room, right? Because we had gotten EVPs. This is after all that stuff, right? So I'm like, I'm finding something. I go through the whole room, nothing. There's this big leather chair that I still have. I've kept it since then, but we're going through the whole, me, alone, going through this whole room, and there's nothing there. I get to the chair, and in the outline of the chair, like there's someone sitting in the chair. No other part of the room, no anything. So I like start freaking out because it like I do it again. I walk away, I do it again like 3 times. So I'm triple verified, right? So what do you think I do at that point?
Run.
Immediately yell and run upstairs.
Yeah, I was gonna say run. That's the only option. If you, boom.
As soon as the third time it was there,
the house, I'm down
I was
the
gone.
block. Like
I ran
that ass,
upstairs.
I'm out. Like no.
I ran upstairs. But I did come back later because I was like, okay, I'm trying to be logical. I'm like, maybe it's like the wires in the wall behind. Maybe there's an outlet behind the chair. I come back down. I do it again. Nothing in the whole room. Not a single beep, blorp, or bop in the whole room.
It's fucking goosebumps. Goddamn.
All right, but we're gonna move on. I wasn't planning on telling these stories. We just kind of riffed off of you
But it's a
telling me.
Halloween episode, okay?
It's a Halloween
We're gonna
episode.
bring the fear, the scare.
But there was, speaking of haunted houses and things that were quote unquote real, and this kind of leads into before this we watched Hell House LLC together, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that. But there was a haunted house, right, in one of the neighborhoods by me. But one of my good friends had a foreign exchange student. He came to live with them, right?
Yeah.
And they were like super religious, hyper Christian. Like I don't remember the whole story, but like I think he was Ethiopian or something. He was like from a very like Christian place, and he comes here. They go through the haunted house, and he literally knew what like were in the rooms. You know, like he knew it was in the next room. Supposedly is because he had had a vision of hell. He had like dreamt of hell, and that this place was like a real recreation of hell. And so he knew what was in the different rooms because of that. Now, I'm hearing this, like, I do remember the kid, but, like, you know, being a thing, like, that was a real story that the kid was a thing. But I don't know that this story is whatever. It could have been made up. But I'm just saying, that's pretty messed up. Like, that's insane.
100%. Like.
And that's not technology, Jared.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you going to say, that he's a plant?
It could have been a BS story. It could have. It sounds like one of those old like Reddit stories, like so. It could be like something like that they just like came up with. But
He was an industry plant, Hugz.
He was an industry plant by
the haunted house community.
By Big Ghosty.
Big
Ghosty.
Big
okay,
haunt.
So we're gonna get into the part that I know Jared's chomping at the bit for, because we're getting into haunted houses. We watched Hell House LLC, which I'm very excited about. It was fun watching the movie together with you guys. And we thought about maybe doing this in the future, doing some reacts together, you know, putting them on YouTube or something like that.
Let us know if that's something you want to see from us in the comments. Do you want to see our live in the moment reactions?
This would be interesting. My background, I used to do reaction videos, so it would be right in my wheelhouse. Jared, what are your thoughts on Hell House LLC?
Hell House LLC was so boring. Absolutely terrible. There was zero redeeming qualities. People have hyped up this movie that it's the most scariest movie of all time. But it was just stupid. None of it made sense. None of it was good. None of it was scary. None of the characters were any good. The scares in it were dumb. Dumb scares. Terrible scares. Like, I could have made that movie better if I was blind and deaf. I can make a movie better.
Helen
Being
Keller
blind is
remix.
death. That's right. Hell House LLC. I refuse to watch any of the sequels. It is a bottom 5 movie
Bro,
for me of all time.
what if that's
Anyone that
what the
actually
people want to
enjoys
see,
that,
Jared? What if that's what the people want to see, is us to watch them together?
I guess they're gonna watch me shit on another movie that they enjoy.
I mean, I'm
Hell
into
House
that.
LLC is a bottom 5 movie for me. The found footage on it is mostly ass.
Crispy, thoughts?
Look, yeah, Jared says a lot of stuff, right? He says a lot of stuff. He has a lot of hot takes. And it's because he feeds off of gore, blood. He wants to see the kills. He wants to see that in that moment. Like, he doesn't like storytelling. He doesn't like build-ups. He wants to get to the point. Like, come on. Yes, Hell House LLC at the first like half of the movie was very slow to start getting to the whole point of the movie. But after watching it, because you guys heard me, in that moment I'm like, does this get any better? Because I was so tired of seeing the footage of them just kind of, oh, we're gonna do this and like planning stuff out. But then it's like ultimately, once the end, I understood it. You kind of need that. I enjoyed it. I'm into the supernatural stuff for the most part. Found footage is one of my favorite genres, so this movie was good. I wouldn't say it's great. I do think it was a little overhyped, but I think it was good for what it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't crazy over the top with like the special effects. I mean, at least not until the end. That was a little bit over the top. But I think it was a good movie. I think Jared he hates found footage. He likes action, action, action. Jared, tell me if I'm wrong.
I mean, if you want to watch something really boring, then watch something
That's
really
boring
boring.
in your opinion.
Okay, hold on. Let me play devil's advocate here, because I fall somewhere in between the two of you. Because I like the overall idea of it, but found footage is my favorite genre for. So I will say that. But the downfall of found footage is the first 30 to 45 minutes of any found footage movie. Because unless they find a unique way to build that initial, because it's too cheesy if they just immediately jump into stuff's happening. Like, there has to be that build up, because it doesn't feel real if they don't do that. But you have to find a way to make it engaging and pull you in. Yes, extremely boring. It's hard that's why I had to rewatch it, because it does lose my attention.
I was gonna say, like, honestly, and I will give him this. If not for me watching it with you guys, and for the reason of talking about it here on the podcast, I probably would have lost interest in it and been on my phone the whole time. But I didn't have that option because we were right here. We were literally in this universe.
The credits was interesting.
Jared's like, they should get an Oscar for those end credits.
Yes.
But once I got into it, so once I got into it, I did like it. I like the clowns they used in the basement. I'm not a big clown horror dude, but I did like how they did that. The one thing that I will say is, you can blame the ADHD or whatever, but I felt like I knew the story, like the big plot twist. I don't want to ruin it for people that may go watch it, but the plot twist in the end, I feel like I knew that like 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
It felt very like,
that was a big takeaway for me. Is I'm not a fan of when I can, like, I get it if over time watching a movie you build that and you can make those connections and be like, aha, but that 100% within the first like so many minutes I was like, I see what you're gonna do. I'm hoping you prove me wrong. So that's why the ending wasn't the best.
I like to just think you sit around watching movies going, aha. Like exactly like that, like, aha,
hey, if you guys
I found
find
another
out,
one.
Comment down below. Let us know if you want to see reactionary content, because you might get an aha or an
aha, I found another one. Okay. So Hell House LLC, let's get, you guys did reviews of this already. You guys already posted your stuff. So what did you give it? Jared, probably negative like 5. What did you give the rating on this?
I gave it a 1 out of 10, I believe. Something like that. 2 out of 10. Something like that.
2 out of
It was
10.
ass.
Crispy, what'd you go for?
A deserved rating for an ass movie.
I think I gave it somewhere in the realm of like a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. Because it wasn't the best, slow build, like I said, and the ending was predictable, but it was an overall pretty. It was a good movie, at least to me.
I would definitely go probably like, I'd go like a 6.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Just if we're going against other found footage, a 6. If we're going against like all horror, then probably like a 4.
I could definitely see that for sure.
Okay. Now, we all watched Hell House LLC. We talked about some other stuff. Have you guys been to haunted houses? Jared, I want to start with you. Were you a haunted house goer?
I haven't went to one. I did not go to one this year, but I normally go to one called Fallsburg Haunted House. It's in Fallsburg, Kentucky. It's about 15, 20 minutes from me, probably the closest one. Also, Lee Jordan's, he does one too. I can't remember the name of it right now, but me and my buddy Taylor went to it last year. It was really good, but this year we didn't go to one. But they're fun, you know. They're fun if you're at the front of the line. If you're at the back of the line, you're not getting scared. You know what I mean?
So do you get scared at haunted houses? Like, have you actually been scared in a haunted house before?
Not like a couple jump scares, you know. Just one time, though. My senior year, I about fought a dude at a haunted house, bro, because I didn't know it was extreme night, bro, and he grabbed me like that, and I went, pow. And then they had to tell me that it was extreme night. I didn't know what was happening. I might have been intoxicated at the time, but I was ready to fight, man. Fight.
Crispy, how about you?
So I'm the worst when it comes to haunted houses. I hate them. I'm not a fan of them. They freak me the fuck out. I'm very easily, like, scared by... Yes, Jared, I'm a chicken, okay? Surprised you could get your arms up high enough for that. Anyways, but I did go to a few when I was younger. I specifically remember this one time we were having... Or my friends, they lived out, like, on an acre of land, right? They had this big barn, you know, one of them, like, new age ones where it's all cement inside, you know, it's for events and stuff. And they were having a Halloween party. And part of this party was this haunted house, so to speak. And it's like a maze, right? Like, they had, like, it all lined up where you're going up, coming around, coming down, you know, till you get to the end. First time going through, it was scary. They had this one section, this one little corner
This little Kerner, you just pulled out a Glorilla.
This one little corner.
You got that Memphis.
Come around, right? When you come around, there's a body that is like hanging up in the corner, and it's set to like swing down, right? But it's set to like stop and get pulled back up. And I remember that thing like getting me hard that time.
Did it though?
Time out. Pause.
Are you just hold on? Are you announcing this live?
No. Hold on. Getting me really good. That's what I meant. Like,
okay, getting you really good and hard. Yeah. Okay. So let's go from your story about getting good and hard to me as a small child in a haunted house. Oh, okay.
That wasn't it. So after we were running around, we were like, hey, lights are on, effects are done, let's run through it, right? So we're going through, me and my friends are all ahead of me. I go and I'm coming around and I get to that corner and I look at that fucker up there in the corner and I'm like, nothing's gonna happen. There's nobody pressing the button to drop him, right? Nobody else was in there. Like, it was all shut down. So I'm like, okay. So I slowly make my way around, and as I get to a certain point, it just falls and hits me. And I was like, I think I almost peed my pants.
And then it gets your blood pumping, right?
Bro. I remember when I was a little kid, my grandma and her husband took me to a haunted house. It was like at like a pool that they had like remade into a haunted house. And we're going through, we're doing whatever. I wasn't like super scared of a lot of the things, but I definitely am a I'm not going to stick around type of person. Like if stuff's going down, especially if it's stuff I can't see or anything like that. And like they had weird stuff, like they would have like shrubs or something. I don't know what was in there. So like it would feel like something's like touching you as you're walking by and stuff like that. I don't know. But what did get me was at the very end, there was a dude with a chainsaw. Okay, and he just busts out with a chainsaw, and I'm like, probably a little 8-year-old Hugz, right? Like I'm a little kid, and we're so from where you're at, you see the exit. Like you like this is right before you're about to leave. I'm like, he's a runner, he's a track star, and I'm like, out, right? And I'm like, we're not even talking like I run outside. We're talking, I'm past the neighbor's house. I'm past the next block. I'm 2-3 blocks away. I'm running towards the nearest McDonald's so I can find some Wi-Fi and an adult. Okay. Like I'm trying to get a McDouble and some therapy. And my grandmother is like coming out after me, and they're trying to like interview her, and she's like, my grandson ran away, and like I was in the next zip code, like I was gone. But that is probably
Did they
that's
have
the only
Wi-Fi when you were 8 years old, Uggs? Because you
no, I had a Nokia soap bar. I don't even know if I had the Nokia at that point. I might have had a Nokia soap bar phone. I may have had a Tamagotchi at that point. Emotional support Tamagotchi.
Yeah, yep, all for it.
What's a Tamagotchi?
Fuck you, Jared. That's what it is. Okay, so Google it if you really need to know. Okay, with your young self.
Sorry, I'm not 100 years old.
It's okay. I'm timeless. I'm 74 documented years old. So anyway, that's the only time, like my aunt, well, my sister's aunt, what I called her aunt, had, she did a haunted house every year in like her garage, but I never really went to haunted houses much because like, you know, life's scary enough. I don't got to go get scared by other shit.
Facts.
If you
Fucking facts.
walk outside, go to Walmart at night, that's scary. There you go. You want a haunted house? Let's try to, you know.
Go to Walmart on the 1st of the month.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many other scarier things I could have done in my neighborhood than go to a haunted house. Okay. But because I know you guys are huge into horror, all right, you guys do your horror reviews and whatever. I want to know what Crispy's haunted house is. I want to know what Jared's haunted house is. But first, we're gonna go with Crispy.
Like
what's so lay out your haunted house. What is your theme for it, and what is your big scare at the end? That's what I want to know.
My big scare at the end, I would have to go with like a face your fears kind of thing, right? Like information that's gathered at the very beginning.
So this
Not
is
necessarily
customized.
Yes, it would be custom to the person, so multiple people can't go through it at once. It's a one person at a time deal. And when you get to that end, not saying it's going to be legitimate, like maybe it's like some CGI stuff. Like if it's my thing, I'm going balls to the wall. But you're
so
gonna
cinematic.
Yes, 100%.
You got a budget.
Yeah, I've got a budget. And we're gonna make people face their greatest fears, whether it be heights, whether it be spiders, whether it be snakes, whether whatever the case may be. That's the end of my haunted house.
Okay, Jared, what about you?
Heck yeah. So mine would be, you have to sign a waiver, and in very fine print it says at the end of this haunt, you die. And at the end of the haunt, you go outside and think everything's fine. Bam! Someone with a baseball bat hits you in the back of the head. But also, what about the other people in the back? You go in another group, how will they die? Will we find you and hunt you down? It might be 5 minutes after the haunt you die. It might be 25 years. But eventually we will find you, and we will haunt you. We will kill you. Just like in the movie Haunt that I just watched. They kill all them people in there.
Moral of the story is never sign a contract that Jared gives you.
Okay.
True.
Well, okay, so mine would be like to the least extent similar, that once the haunted house is over, it's not over. Once you go out the last room, there's still something like a car flies through and it like looks like it's going to hit you and you're like, oh no, or something. Maybe they pee themselves. No murder will take place. View Count LLC is not liable for anything that Jared ever does or says. We'll just blanket it with that. Okay, that he ever does or says.
We do not condone the actions of Jared's haunted house.
Jared, I know your last name is not McKamey, but this sounds like some McKamey Manor-y going on here.
Yes, bro. Love it. Love McKamey Manor, bro. Is the owner a piece of shit? Yes.
Allegedly. Well,
But-
he is a piece of shit, but allegedly has
I was
done
like,
things.
he's a piece of shit.
I mean, he was arrested for it.
Yeah.
He was arrested for it. Still waiting trial, but you know, one nation under God, whatever.
Okay, so hit me with some McKamey Manor facts. What's going on with McKamey Manor? I want to learn more. I know you wanted to talk about this.
So it's a extreme haunted house that you sign a waiver for, mind you. Remember that, sign a waiver for, and if you go through it, you had to complete like 8 to 10 hours of like torture, pretty much. Like they can fucking scalp you, they make you drink piss, make you eat shit, pretty much. And it's just,
and you're not even exaggerating. Like it's literally that intense.
They can break your bones, pull your teeth, like tear off your nails. Like they have pretty much everything covered, up like with the exception of actually murdering you. But if you die during it, they're not held liable.
And mind you, though, people sign the waiver before they go in, so it's kind of on them. To be fair. It's all documented. You can find it on the YouTube channel. But like you get money if you complete it. I think it's like $20,000, $25,000, somewhere in that ballpark.
But nobody can ever get it, right? Because it's like, isn't it rigged? It's allegedly.
It's allegedly rigged. Okay, there's been 2 people that have come close to completion that he has pulled out because. I can't do this.
I don't know what this podcast is going to be rated. I don't know.
Rated R. The rated R superstar. I'm just Chris.
There have been 2 people that have come close to completing it.
Okay.
Also say you better not. But yeah, they were stopped early and said that they could no longer continue due to like potential health risk. Like one of them was like hypothermia or something like that. And like my thing is, they signed the waiver. Like he just knew that one of them was like a former Marine.
People can put whatever they want in a waiver, like hold harmless stuff. You still can't do ridiculous things. That's why the man is going to go to trial for all these alleged crimes. If you count LLC not held for our statements, whatever, allegedly, crimes, let the law decide. Dear legal system, protect us. But like from what I've seen, there were people like exposing him on YouTube. Didn't you tell me before? I think we were talking about this not that long ago. There's like a Hulu series or something.
Yeah, Hulu. So Hulu has a documentary out called "The Monster Inside," and it's essentially it gives the whole background of Russ McKamey and the McKamey Manor and how it started out in San Diego, I want to say.
San Diego, Tennessee.
And then he got ran out of there because of what he was doing. Because he started off just doing little local haunted house stuff, and then he evolved it to this like extreme haunted experience that he was doing up until I don't know however long ago. And then when he got told he can't do it, he got moved to Tennessee, and then the documentary goes through like the footage that he has taken of the people, because he records everything from start to finish, the waivers being signed.
He's telling on himself.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, and what they do is the documentary, they interview the people who are speaking out against him, who have gone through it. So they're talking about their experience firsthand, while simultaneously like we're watching their experience when they're going back and forth with it. It's not a horror movie, but it's horrific.
I want to know the first person in San Diego that got, because you said originally he was doing like regular haunting, right? Mm-hmm. I want to know the first person in San Diego that got the new experience. That was like his friend had gone like 3 days ago, and they're like, "Oh, it's pretty scary. You probably like it. Like they did real good. You'll like this, Craig." And then Craig goes and he's like, "Oh, wow, there's like a scarecrow. Oh, man, there's a werewolf. Oh, my God, there's a ball-peen hammer in my head." Like, gets conked in the head. He pulled my tooth out and punched me in the wiener. Like, what was that first?
Yeah.
Because there had to be a dude that didn't sign a waiver at a point for them to then be like, "Oh, we need people to sign a waiver for this."
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the waiver stuff was what started. It had to have started in Tennessee if he got ran out of San Diego.
It
Yeah.
did start in Tennessee.
So,
Well, like, cause what is the whole thing? He does like donations or something. You don't
yeah,
pay him. Like,
he doesn't charge anybody money. He takes it in donations of dog food because he's very like big on dogs and animal rescue and stuff, I guess.
and torture, allegedly.
No, it's not alleged. It's all on camera.
I'm saying allegedly every single time, no matter what. I'm saying
They
alleged.
signed a waiver for it. They know what they're signing up for.
I will agree to a certain extent that yes, if you sign a waiver, you know what you're getting into. But also you got to remember, like, consider your level of intelligence. And all of us can feel where we are. But let's say all of us are just halfway. Like, we're not the smartest, not the dumbest. Then there's at least 50% of the population that's below us in intelligence, right? Like, even if you're mid-level, how many people even understand what they're signing away?
That's fair. That's fair. But like also too, like a part of the waiver was implementing a safe word, and more often than not, people were giving it and he was ignoring it.
Allegedly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I told you, I'm just saying it all the time.
I don't know. See, that's fair. That's fair.
My safe word, allegedly. Because I'm just throwing it out there. You may see an ostrich and say allegedly. I just say it all the time. Okay, so I'm just keeping to the letter of the law, Kenny.
Whoa.
Okay, but we are going to wrap up this McKamey Manor. Is there anything else you want to talk about with McKamey Manor, Jared?
Yes. Would you all do it for $20,000? Complete the whole thing. Me, yeah. 100%, yeah. I'd do it for free.
I wouldn't. You couldn't. Here's the thing. Okay, this man has taken people's greatest fears, right? Whether it's suffocating, drowning, claustrophobia, and he uses it against the rats. Yes, he uses it against them. My biggest fear is snakes. If you put me in any room where there are snakes, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna die. So $20,000 isn't worth my life. So no, I'm sorry. I will not. Cannot. No amount of money. You could offer me $1 billion. No.
Bullshit.
Bro,
Hand to God.
well, hold on, because if you have to complete it, it doesn't matter because you're not going to complete it. You get what I'm saying? So if you get $1 million just to survive, I take $1 million. But if
how
you
long
put
do you have to survive for?
8 to 10 hours,
4 hours.
but they wouldn't be able. They wouldn't be able to let me quit. I would have to sign a thing that would say like just whatever. I'm just 10 hours. It just is what it is. $100,000 an hour. They would have to make it to where I literally could not back out because I would quit. Bro, if you put me in a box full of spiders, I immediately quit. If you put me near Spider-Man, if you put me in the Spider-Verse, I'm going to quit, okay? Because I don't want nothing to do with any of it. Like, that's where I draw the line. I'm not a spider guy, if you can
Jared,
tell.
you're telling me that you would sit in a room festered with rats.
I would pet the rats for $1 million. I would eat the rats for $1 million, son. $1 million life-saving money. Life-changing.
Bro, $20,000 is life-changing money to some people. I'm just saying, $20,000
I
is...
just couldn't. Like, my phobia of snakes is so fucking deep. I can't go to reptile areas. I can't go to that section of the pet store. Like, I can't do it, bro.
This man can't even watch a Slytherin. This man's like, I can't even...
I have to be careful when I'm watching fucking Chamber of Secrets. I gotta be like,
That's right.
Jared knows. We watched, was it
parcel
on
tongue?
Nightmare on Elm Street 2 or 3?
No parcel tongue for you?
Nightmare 3 the other day when he was creeped out.
There was a snake scene, and I'm just...
Bro. No Samuel Jackson on planes?
No, thank you.
Nope.
Haven't seen it, never will. Anaconda, never seen it,
I'm
never
tired
will.
of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. That would be you. I want to see you in the
When
remake.
we hit 1,000 followers, guys. When we hit 1,000 followers, Crispy will watch Anaconda.
I'd watch it with you.
I would too. I love the movie.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. Okay.
Look, for the content, we hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. We hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, I'll watch Anaconda.
And I'll watch Willie.
I'll watch Babe. I don't know, something that's not scary. So here's the thing. I think all of us, no matter how you feel, Jared included, unless we were unable to quit, none of us would make it through. I don't care how much money they offer you, because at a certain point, your brain just turns off. The logical aspect of I'm making $1 million goes away. And that fight or flight, that like life preservation kicks in. I don't think any of us make it through.
I agree.
So the only way I would get that money is if they were like, you have to sign in this dotted line, but you literally cannot quit.
Like
but
once you start, there's no going back until
there is no stopping it. Yeah. It's like once you're on the ride, you can't get off.
Maybe if I knew the snakes couldn't actually bite me, like if they were fangless, I could just close my eyes
Well, then
and
you
I'll
wouldn't
lay
be
down.
scared.
You
wouldn't be scared.
No, I would still be scared, bro. I can't do garden snakes. Like worms freak me out sometimes, bro. Like it's deep. It is so deep.
Okay. No, I get you. Side note, corn snake one time. My dad had a Trailblazer. I was sitting in the back seat, and we were at Kmart. Yes, I'm old, Jared. We were at Kmart, and somehow a corn snake, garden snake, whatever, had gotten inside of the lining of the Blazer, and it like dropped down from the ceiling right next to me. I'm sitting back there, a little kid, and it just drops down like right here, and I'm like, what up, little dude? And I was like, what the heck is this? And I was like, it's a snake. And then I lost my goddamn mind. Okay. So just a fun story to help Crispy sleep tonight. But does anybody else have anything to add before the end? Happy Halloween to everybody watching.
Yes. Have a happy Halloween. Stay safe. Have fun. If you're taking your kids out, if you're taking your kids out, keep an eye on them.
And if you get candy corn, TP the house and exit the house.
Yep.
Don't forget,
we are
if you're a
not
fat
held
kid, kick a pumpkin.
Not at me, okay? Shout out to everybody dressed up as WCW or NWO Sting. Probably not happening this year. There might be one person out there. If you're in your 40s, no shout out. Thank you guys for watching. Happy Halloween. We'll see you next week. We love you guys.